doing
Good
that.
evening, everyone, and welcome Draco to our writing stream.
Woo!
Hey. So, I'm glad you could make it this time, big guy. I mean, maybe.
He has to turn off his microphone to say anything, so let's see what actually happens.
All right, but here we go. We read these pages from Draco last week.
Did we?
Or maybe we. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We read these pages from Draco last week.
Oh God, do we have 2 Draco scripts?
Yeah, like he was the only person who wrote anything.
I mean, I wish he would write like the second 10 pages of something.
Well, that's actually what we have here.
Oh,
these are the pages from last week, and we read to page 10. So we read like SWAT officer command, we need backup. Cage jaw tightens. Reynolds, get more units to the south barricade because there were zombies attacking, and now we can.
Well, why don't we read this one first then, since that way we don't have to like wrap our heads around an entirely new property.
Yeah, sounds good. And if he can ever get, hold on, there's a private chat. Let me see what message I have over here. Hi. Hello. All right. That's a good one. That's a great private chat. All right. Who wants to narrate?
Well, it's the first thing. I'll just get her out of the way. We have to start with like the slug. So we actually need to start with Cade, don't we? What page are we on?
I figure we should start with the slug line. This is the end of 10. So we've
already finished 10. Okay, yeah. I remember we read this. Yeah, get to the medics now is where we ended. So let's go to page 11.
Okay.
Here we go. The officer stumbles away, clutching their bleeding arm. Cade looks around, his mind racing as more infected begin closing in from the plaza.
Fall back to the command tent. Hold the line until civilians are clear.
As the officers begin retreating, a loud, piercing scream cuts through the noise. Cade freezes, his eyes locking onto the source. A small child, no older than 8, standing in the middle of the plaza. Her head tilts unnaturally, her mouth open wide in a blood-curdling wail. The sound draws more infected towards her, their movements growing frenzied.
What the hell?
What, has he never seen a zombie movie before? Before Cade can react, the child sprints forward.
I think there's an unwritten rule that in zombie movies don't exist.
Except for that one zombie movie where zombie movies do exist, and that one's fucking awesome.
You mean like Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, I was thinking
that Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, because it basically said Night of the Living Dead was real. And
yes,
the fake sequel one.
Yes.
Zombieland.
Zombieland, yeah.
Yeah, those are some of the better zombie movies. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Before Cade can react, the child sprints forward. Blah 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 blah. Leaping onto somebody else that we don't care about, drag him to the ground. Her tiny hands claw his face as he screams. Aww. Exterior command. Minutes later, Cade bravely runs away and bursts into the tent, I guess.
Yes.
All right, let's go, Sir Robin. His radio buzzing with overlapping reports. John, I guess?
No, albeit dozens of them. They're everywhere. Hostiles are attacking civilians. We're falling back.
Reynolds turns to Cade, his face pale.
You were Reynolds last time.
We've lost control. The crowd's scattered, but the infected, whatever they are, keep coming. They're not stopping. Cade.
Cade steps up to the monitors, scanning the live feeds. One screen shows a group of infected clawing at the command tent's outer barricades. Another feed reveals the horrifying aftermath of the south barricade. Officers retreating. Oh no, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Officers retreating as the infected overwhelm their line.
All units, regroup at the command tent. We're pulling out. I repeat, regroup and evacuate.
Reynolds looks at him, stunned.
Evacuate? What about the senator?
And now we care about the senator. Cade turns to him, his expression grim.
If the senator's smart, he's already on his way out. Right now we focus on getting our people out alive.
Reynolds hesitates, then nods, grabbing his radio. Exterior plaza, command tent perimeter continuous. Cade steps outside, barking orders as officers and medics load injured civilians into waiting vehicles. The infected are closing in, their guttural growls growing louder. One infected man lunges at Cade. He fires a clean headshot, dropping him instantly. Cade looks around, his mind racing as he calculates their next move. Suddenly, one of the officers near the barricade shouts,
They're breaching the north side.
Cade spins around, his eyes narrowing. The north barricade collapses as a wave of infected surges forward, their grotesque, bloodied faces filling the gap. Oh, we lost John. Jesus, all right.
We lost John?
Yeah.
Draco, are you here?
I guess I'll be.
All right, go ahead, BK.
You hit the button that
Okay.
says...
Hold your ground. Oh, well, I can't see that. You just click the big
Yeah,
dot.
hold on. Unmute, Mike. Let me see if that... No, can't unmute because it just could... The guest chose to mute themselves. Okay.
Okay. Hold your ground. Cover the evac.
The officers open fire, trying to stem the tide, but the infected are relentless. Cade's radio crackles again. Command, this is Unit 4. We're pinned down near the east barricade, requesting immediate backup. Cade grits his teeth, his mind torn. He looks towards the fleeing civilians, then back at the collapsing barricades.
Damn it!
He grabs a rifle from a nearby officer. What a dick! And sprints towards the east. Like, there's a zombie outbreak and you take someone else's weapon? Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a brave hero.
Are they alive or dead?
East barricade, but I'm going to have thoughts about that later. Exterior east barricade, minutes? Jesus, okay. Cade arrives to find a small team of SWAT officers surrounded by the infected. They're low on ammo, using their batons to fend off the attackers. Okay, wow. I have thoughts.
Get down.
Civilians scream, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I get that.
He fires a burst into the crowd of infected, clearing a path to the trapped officers.
Fall back to the trucks. Go.
The officers scramble to their feet, retreating as Cade covers them. A pair of infected charge at him. He takes one down with a clean headshot, but is tackled by the other. Cade struggles against the infected, snapping teeth inches away from his face, grabs a nearby shard of broken barricade. Okay. And
like wooden door kind of shit, you know?
Oh, so not like
not
like a chunk of concrete.
Probably not a chunk of concrete. Probably
Okay.
wood. I'm thinking wood. Like it would be hard to. I mean, concrete doesn't shatter into a nice obsidian knife.
Generally, not when humans run into it. No.
Yeah.
When humans run into it, traditionally humans shatter into tiny knives.
Yeah.
You would think that an undead zombie would probably shatter.
Yes, but somehow he drives it into its skull, killing it instantly.
Yes.
Because apparently its bone density is vastly deteriorated.
Yeah, sure.
Exterior.
And that barricade is not made from the softest wood possible, because if the wrong person trips into it and breaks their arm, they're going to sue the city.
No, it's totally like balsa wood.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That, I mean, you can't have someone suing the city.
Yeah.
Exterior plaza evacuation point continuous. Cade and the surviving officers make it to the evacuation trucks. He helps load the injured into the last vehicle, his breathing heavy, his face streaked with blood. As the trucks begin to pull away, Cade climbs into the back of one, his eyes scan. Why does he just get into the truck before it leaves? Okay, whatever. The infected swarm over the abandoned barricades, their numbers growing. Cade watches as a wailer, its haunting cry echoing. Is this like a fucking Left 4 Dead thing? Whatever. Disappears into the crowd of undead. Cade leans back into the truck while his hand gripping his rifle tightly. It's not even his rifle.
This isn't over.
Exterior.
Well, I don't know why he would think that it would be, but
I mean, wouldn't you? The police successfully escaped. Everyone's safe now.
But escape. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have thoughts.
my thought is I don't understand this, but okay.
I mean, That is a thought.
That is
That is a thought. Yeah.
Exterior, Seattle Highway, early afternoon. The convoy of SWAT vehicles speeds down the empty highway, sirens off to avoid attracting attention. Smoke rises in the distance, black plumes marking fires and destruction across the city. Hey, Bit Rush.
Hey, what's up, guys?
The festive tone of Independence Day has vanished, replaced by an eerie, oppressive silence. Interior SWAT truck continuous. Inside the truck, Cade sits with his back against the metal wall, cradling his rifle. All right, he really loves his rifle. His uniform is...
Was that the rifle he took off somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rifle he took from someone who was using it. He
shouldn't be cradling it. He should be looking it over and going, "Oh wow, that's how this works." But he just got it 2 minutes ago.
I really hope Officer Johansson didn't need that, because he'd be in a lot of trouble right now.
I think his name was Officer Extra.
No, it's Johansson now, giving him a name. So we can see the awful horror of Kate's activity. He's now his uniform is stained with blood and sweat all of a sudden.
Yeah.
A handful of SWAT officers sits in stunned silence. Their faces pale and drawn. An officer, Young. Okay.
As opposed to a young officer?
No, his name is Young.
Yeah.
And he is young. He's in his mid-20s.
Yeah. Nervously taps his baton. What's his last name?
Young is his last name.
Oh, all right. Fine. Nervously taps the baton against his knee, breaking the silence. Abraxas, do you want to play Officer Young?
So I'm on my phone. I can barely read that small.
Never mind that. All right.
But don't worry.
I'll do it. I'll do it. What the hell are those things? They weren't normal.
That's
wow. Wow. I see someone in this story is actually stupider than our protagonist. I like this. This is a good move, because you don't want your protagonist to be the only person holding the idiot ball.
There you go.
Another officer, Sanchez, leads forward, her voice low and tense.
Oh, I guess that's me.
Sure.
They weren't.
Hi.
We'll
They weren't
typecast
high.
that.
That's for sure. Did you see their eyes? Like they weren't even human anymore.
The group falls quiet again. Cade doesn't respond. His gaze fixed on the streak of blood on his hands. His breathing is steady, but his jaw is clenched tight. The radio crackles, snapping him out of his thoughts.
All units, containment breached. Emergency quarantine in effect. Report to the nearest.
The message cuts out, leaving only static. Cade grabs the radio, adjusting the frequency.
Dispatch, this is Unit Alpha 1. And it's only Alpha 1 because the main character's there. Do you copy? Over.
The radio remains silent. Cade exhales sharply, setting it down. Exterior police station parking lot later.
What if it was Unit Alpha?
The convoy pulls into a small police station on the outskirts of Seattle. The station looks abandoned, its windows dark and doors ajar. Cade steps out of a truck, scanning the area cautiously. The other officers follow, weapons drawn. A faint breeze carries the sound of distant sirens and occasional pop of fireworks.
Fan out. Sweep the perimeter. If it's clear, we regroup inside.
The officers nod, splitting into pairs as Cade leads Sanchez towards the station's front entrance. Why are they going to a police station?
Because that's what the script says.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather they go to a bar?
Exactly.
Yes. That's the thing a normal human would do. Hold on, we're in danger. Let's go to the police station, said nobody.
I mean, that's not a bad place to
I
look.
mean, it has
If
an
anything,
armory.
they have guns, right?
They have
That's
guns.
true.
They have an
I
armory.
wish someone would say something so we know what's going on.
They at least have like a
And they don't go back to their police station where their cars are, so everyone can just go home. They go to some random police station.
Well, they should still have guns and possibly cars.
And plus, isn't Cade like an officer?
I mean, ostensibly.
So then he should have some knowledge of police stations and what they got.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They probably also have emergency supplies.
Yes.
Food, water.
Yeah, all right. Interior police station front desk continuous. The station is eerily quiet. The air thick with the metallic scent of blood. Okay, film that. The front desk is overturned. Papers scattered across the floor. Cade's boots crunch against shattered glass. He moves cautiously through the lobby. Did someone leave a shattered glass in the lobby?
Yes.
Yeah, that's responsible. A faint sound catches his attention, the whimper of a child. Cade freezes, motioning for Sanchez to stop. He raises his rifle, following the sound towards a nearby office. Interior police station office continuous. Cade steps inside to find a young boy, crouched under a desk. His clothes are torn. His face is streaked with dirt and tears. He clutches a stuffed toy, a tattered bear missing an ear.
Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you.
The boy looks up, his eyes wide with fear. Cade kneels, setting his rifle aside. It's not even his rifle. You keep saying that.
So mad. He's so angry.
Where's your family? Are they here?
The boy doesn't answer, but his gaze shifts to the far corner of the room. Cade follows his line of sight and freezes. In the shadows, a figure stands unnaturally still. A man, presumably the boy's father, emerges in the dim light, his skin pale and his mouth smeared with blood, his eyes blah, 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 blah. The infected man lunges. Can it just be the police chief? That would be cool.
There's a boy in the police station and he's a zombie.
Yeah, and the zombie could be the police chief.
Well, it's a boy.
Why is it a boy, though?
Because it says boy. Why can't it be a boy?
No, I want the zombie to not be his father. Anyways, interior police station, hallway. A gunshot echoes through the station. Sanchez rushes forward to the sound, her weapon raised. She rounds the corner to find Cade standing over the infected man's body. Blah, 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 blah. Blood pools on the floor. Cade kneels next to the boy, who sobs uncontrollably. He places a hand on the boy's shoulder, his voice steady but strained.
It's over. You're safe now.
Sanchez lowers her weapon, her expression grim.
This isn't just Seattle, is it?
Cade looks at her, his jaw tightening.
No, it's everywhere.
Can we just, cut to that other story when he was in the post-apocalypse? Okay, exterior police station later. No, we can't. The group gathers outside, loading supplies into the trucks. Cade stands apart, watching the boy sit silently in the back of the patrol car. His tattered bear sits in his lap untouched. What, are you going to send him home? What are you going to do? You're stuck with this child. Reynolds approaches, handing Cade a folded map.
Closest safe zone's 40 miles out. National Guard setting up a quarantine there. We can regroup, maybe figure out what the hell's going on.
Cade takes the map, his eyes scanning the horizon.
Safe zone. How long do you think that'll last?
Reynolds doesn't respond. Cade folds the map and turns back to the group.
We move in 10. Stick together. Stay sharp. This isn't over, he says again.
I mean, it's been 3 pages since he said that. What if the audience forgot, John?
Maybe.
That maybe.
The officers nod, their faces grim but determined. Cade glances back at the boy one last time before climbing into the truck, abandoning yet someone else at the side of the road as he bravely flees. He should have taken the doll. He's got the rifle, and then he can collect the fucking bear and just collect fucking trophies.
Put the body back in the box.
The bodies hit the floor. Let the body. Come on.
Oh wow, Beanie Babies are coming back in fashion.
Yeah.
Interior SWAT truck continuous. As the convoy pulls out, Cade stares out the window. The distant skyline of Seattle burns. Smoke and ash rising into this gray sky. The boy's quiet sobs echo faintly in his ears. He grips his rifle tighter. Still not his rifle. His expression tightening as the truck speeds to the unknown. Oh wait, they took the boy with them?
There you go. All right. Cool.
I thought they left the boy in the abandoned police station.
Did you like him better now that he took the boy with him?
I mean, technically he saved a cat, so I have to, right? That's how that works. When you save a cat, I have to like him more. I mean, I hate him less. Well, I'll give him that. The convoy moves down an eerily empty highway. Cars are abandoned. Well, if cars are abandoned, it's not empty, is it? Either it's an empty highway, or it's a highway with a whole bunch of abandoned cars on the shoulder out in the middle of nowhere, which is creepy. Pick one. Smoke rises from distant fires and the faint sound of explosions and surrounded. Where are these explosions and gunfire coming from? They're in the middle of nowhere.
It's America. We've got
Also,
guns everywhere.
how can you hear that over their police cars, which are probably very loud and full of engines?
I don't know.
They're probably big diesel engines too.
Really loud thing where zombies are around.
So they're not really far away explosions. They're really close by explosions, right? Anyways, inside the SWAT truck, Cade Grayson, whose last name we've been given for the 4th time in this script.
Well, it's capitalized, and that means we're introducing a new character. So
yeah, we're introducing.
Oh, good. Maybe this will be a likable protagonist.
Yeah.
Sits in the passenger seat, his rifle across his lap. The backseat, the boy, rescued from the police station, stares out the window, clutching his stuffed bear. Yeah, it is Cade's stuffed bear. Reynolds drives, his hands tight on the wheel, his eyes flickering nervously between the road and the horizon. Reynolds has a line.
Feels like the whole damn country's gone dark.
Not the whole country. Not yet.
Is that because it's not over yet?
How do you know that? Because
Oh, man, somebody should probably tell me just in case, I didn't notice when the movie didn't fucking end.
There you go.
Reynolds nods but doesn't look convinced. They pass an overturned ambulance on the empty highway. Its back doors hanging open. A bloody handprint is smeared across the side. Interior SWAT truck continuous. The radio crackles, cutting through the uneasy silence. Cade leans forward, adjusting the frequency, catching snippets of overlapping transmissions. I remember this scene. Origin confirmed. Airborne pathogen. Global contamination. That's a sentence.
Cairo beat. Cairo archaeological site breach. Airborne release.
Oh, they're mummies.
Oh, shit.
That would be cool if they were mummies and not zombies.
Yeah.
Or zombie mummies.
Zombie mummies.
Yeah, I mean, people
What's the
use powdered mummy as a condiment.
Yes.
Yum.
Well, that's got to be pretty ancient, right?
Powdered
Mummy
mummy?
Yeah, powdered mummy. I mean, yes.
Yeah, otherwise you have to desiccate it yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Cade and Reynolds exchange a glance. The weight of the information sinking in. That's okay. It's 19 pages. Why is it still sinking? Cade adjusts the frequency again.
This is SWAT Unit Alpha 1. What's the status of containment? Do you copy?
Wait, he's on the fucking walkie-talkies? What? 200 miles out of town now? They still work?
I mean,
the static continues.
Maybe they have Starlink.
Sure. Before a distorted voice comes through.
There's no containment. Everyone's infected. It's everywhere. Stay clear of population centers. Don't die.
The signal cuts out, leaving only static. Reynolds exhales sharply, gripping the wheel tighter.
Everyone's infected. What the hell does that even mean?
I mean, dude, you've already lived through a global pandemic. You should know what that means.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Cade doesn't respond immediately. He stares out the window, his jaw tightening.
It means we're already dead. We just don't know it yet.
The boy in the back stirs, his small voice breaking the silence.
Are we safe?
Okay. I have so many thoughts. Cade turns to him, his expression softening for a moment.
We're safe as long as we keep moving.
Highway checkpoint. Moments later, there's a checkpoint? This whole thing just started like an hour ago. Where did the checkpoint come from?
Anyway, sorry.
An
overturned semi.
An overturned semi blocking the road. A makeshift barricade of abandoned vehicles is being set up, forcing them to stop. Cade steps out of the truck, scanning the area with his rifle raised. The other officers fan out, forming a defensive perimeter as they move towards the barricades.
Eyes up. Sweep the area.
Sanchez kneels beside one of the vehicles, her flashlight illuminating a patch of dark stains on the asphalt. Oh, is it night?
No, it's moments later.
Oh.
Blood. Fresh.
Okay. Cade tenses, his grip tightening on his rifle. Man, Johansson must be so pissed off right now.
Yeah.
A faint sound cuts through the quiet, a low guttural growl, followed by the scream of something dragging across metal.
Fall back to the trucks, now!
Officers bravely retreat. No, begin retreating. Their movements careful but quick. The growling grows louder, joined by shuffling footsteps. Suddenly, a figure stumbles into view, a man with pale, bloodied skin, his eyes vacant and glassy. Oh my god, there's a whole lot of zombies.
Weapons free, take them down.
Gunfire erupts as the team opens fire. The infected fall, but more emerge from behind the barricade, climbing over vehicles with unnatural speed.
They're just coming! I always have these ellipses.
You know what? I think this is a great place to stop because A, that was just page 20. B, that is the best line to stop on.
All right. So zombies keep attacking, which is probably a good thing. But are they really zombies? Maybe they're mummies. I don't know. But
or maybe the source of the infection was released by some cracking open some pyramid or something.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe they're alien mummies.
Possibly. But regardless of the source of the infection, people are infected. The zombies are spreading to all corners of the globe. It's looking grim for the humans. Fortunately, we have Cade and Reynolds who have banded together, rescued a boy, a rifle, and a truck.
That's not theirs.
Look,
that's not theirs.
Once you enter a zombie apocalypse, it becomes kind of communist. It's all community property. That is mine, comrade. Thank you. That's my rifle.
No, it doesn't matter if the officer was using it. It's everyone's property.
It's mine now.
Reminds me of like in Walking Dead, the Claimers. That's mine.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine now.
That's mine now. Claim it. I claim that.
Yeah. No, wait. The department issue. What department, pal? It's mine. Go away.
The department's shit now, man. It's the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
This is definitely a zombie project that has standard zombie shit happening.
Yeah.
It successfully does that.
Draco's still seeming to have a hard time with audio. All right, John.
That's all right. We'll just talk at him. And besides, it's his script. He doesn't.
What does he really got to say?
I don't care what he says about it.
Yeah. All right, John.
You have successfully delivered 10 pages of zombie horror and action. There is lots of good zombie horror fan service in these pages that will make hardcore zombie horror fans very, very, very happy.
Do you count yourself as a hardcore zombie fan, or are you more of like a zombie tourist?
I'm a zombie tourist.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. How about Abraxas Bit Rush, Kyler?
Yeah, I came in the middle, but the last couple pages I caught seemed pretty good. Be cool if there's a zombie mummy outbreak. I don't understand how everyone's infected. That seemed a little odd because if everyone's infected, why is everyone not a zombie already? Or if it's like Walking Dead where you have to die first or whatever. But
well, I think by everyone he meant like the different checkpoints around the globe, or
everyone who isn't the protagonist. protagonist.
Yeah. Everyone that's outside of like the protagonist, like command and control, has kind of fallen away as the zombie infection has spread. Is really kind of like the option. It's not like every single person in the world is a zombie, but
Okay. Yeah, that's
that's
what
they want you to believe.
also seemed like at the end there they were like super zombies, because usually zombies go like slow and they're like they don't stop, but they're not going quickly. It said they were coming at like super speed, so I don't know if they're like super zombies that can jump and crawl fast or whatever.
There are some zombies that can go fast.
Yeah, it's like a different class of zombie.
Depending on.
yes.
No, I was just going to say that there have been a lot of zombie films and stories where some of the zombies move at normal speed or can run. Not all of them are just shuffling.
There wasn't any naked zombies or zombies with boobs out, so that's a little disappointing.
A little.
There's got to be at least one zombie with a torn shirt.
You
with
gotta
boob
write
flapping.
it in, then leave it to production to take it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
cool.
naked male zombies. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, just make someone in the audience happy.
And
big
the rest
flopping
very
zombie
uncomfortable.
dong.
Yeah, and then will be one person happy and everybody else will be uncomfortable. But hey, it is an emotion that you can elicit.
Are you supposed to elicit emotions in your audience?
I try to.
I try to. I guess we should do constructives. I'm going to go last. So, Preston.
I mean, look, I'm also a zombie tourist, right? Like, and therefore my expectations of my zombie films are somewhat low. I expect order to collapse. It collapsed. He grabbed a rifle from some guy. It would be cool if I think the guy fought for the rifle, because then we would have an argument between people who would be representing different points of view. One being the old point of view, which is some official somewhere gave me this rifle with this serial number as part of this organization, and I'm here to fulfill my mission. And the other being, your organization doesn't exist anymore. Those people are dead, and I'm taking this gun. And that's an interesting dialogue. So I would have liked a little bit more there, I suppose. He rescued a kid. I think it's fine. I'm sure other people have more to say. What do you think, John?
It's very tropey. It hits
Yes.
all of the standard zombie trope stuff. I'm assuming that Joe Hansen is dead, and the script just failed to mention that. And he probably picked up the rifle off the ground next to the corpse of somebody else, which again should have been clarified.
Well, okay,
but
fair enough. Yeah.
But yes, it was a very, very, very tropey by the numbers. I didn't really feel like there was. Everybody was acting and behaving like characters act and behave in a zombie film, not like how real world people would act in this situation. And again, like, okay, so the major thing is like when they're evacuating the town square. Why are they like? How do they feel like evacuating the town square is going to do any good? Like, is there a wall around the town square that's supposed to keep people in that they're evacuating outside of? I'm assuming the barricades are just those standard wooden barricades that you put up to divert traffic or people moving when you're going to, like I'm just picturing like a town square.
Oh, like the sawhorse ones? Okay, now that all makes sense.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm picturing as far barricades that are just like there to divide and corral people. That's all they do. They just corral people. And it's like, how are they keeping this outbreak contained? And if the cops are just fleeing the area to absconding off to who knows where, then all of these zombies can just go in every direction, go into the neighborhoods and into the suburbs, and just keep attacking. It's like, why are the police not trying to they're just running away, and I don't understand.
They were also
That-
firing automatic weapons into crowds.
But weren't those crowds of zombies?
Were they fully crowds of zombies?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
And did the officers know that at the time?
I
Because
don't think
have
the
So-
police.
story.
I don't think police have automatic weapons. They have like semi-auto. Only military has auto.
In this story, they have automatic weapons.
Yeah,
They raided the SWAT area,
Yeah. So
and they ended up with.
I don't even know if
SWAT have
SWAT
automatic-
has automatic weapons. I think they all have AR-15s or some variant of them.
In this story,
Yeah,
they have
semi-auto.
automatic weapons.
Anyway, my whole point is, I'm just like, I don't understand why they're leaving, how this is supposedly contained. Like, there is no wall or way of people keeping them. It's like, it just seems like dereliction of duty for them to just leave the town. And basically leave the town for itself. Like, and this is Seattle, so this is supposed to be a major city. And like, that's going to be like everywhere. Like, I just, the logistics of how that whole scene is supposed to play out makes no sense to me. So that's kind of where I'm confused. I mean, and again, like, we don't know why they're leaving, except they're a bunch of scaredy cats, which also doesn't entirely make sense. So, yeah, I would like that scene. I feel like that's a major scene, and it sets the course of a lot of things going forward, and your main character, and what he's supposed to be doing. And I just, like, that should be his moment to kind of show who he is as a character and make the audience believe that, okay, we want to follow this guy because he knows what he's doing. Kind of like last week when we were referencing Jaws. Like, there is no character that's basically trying to say, oh, everything is fine, the beaches are staying open, and he's the only sane one saying, no, we have to close the beach. So, like, we don't have that, so we don't get that character out of him to figure out what type of person this guy really is, because we don't have that. So, yeah, as I said, I just don't feel like that scene works, and because that scene doesn't work, to me anyway, I don't feel like the rest of it kind of works.
Abraxas, Kyler.
Yeah, I kind of always feel like with zombie stuff, none of it ever has like someone who's watched a zombie film or read a zombie comic book in the zombie book story.
Right.
And so like it always just seems like people don't do what you should do. Like if a zombie outbreak happened today, like I've seen enough zombie films, I would know how to react and handle it. And like people always just kind of like go crazy and run and get like attacked by the zombie and whatever. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of that's something I'd like to see. I don't know if you want to do that in this book, but like someone who actually knows how to react to a zombie outbreak in a zombie outbreak would be cool.
If I may, actually, you raise a good point. I would also add that if you don't want to do that, keep in mind that your audience has seen dozens and dozens and dozens of zombie films. So unless you're going to do something different to subvert our expectations, don't draw out the whole zombie thing and, like, how do you kill them and all of that. Because the audience, like, you shoot a zombie in the head. Everybody knows that. That's standard zombie lore. If it takes them half the freaking movie to figure that out, then that's kind of like, I feel like you're speaking not down, but you're underestimating your audience, and I would recommend you not do that. Unless you want to do, as I said, if you want to do something completely different and subvert expectations, then knock yourself out. But I think that otherwise you need to kind of establish your, if you're going to use the standard ground rules, establish them early and let your characters figure that out early, and then do something from there. Otherwise, if they're figuring something out that we and the audience already know, it's not that interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with basically everything John said. And would also like to add that this is one of the bleakest, most solipsistic, nihilistic pieces of zombie fiction I've ever read. In which our hero bravely takes a gun from a fellow police officer, then runs away with it after shooting strangers, escapes the active riot that's about to start, only to shoot into said crowd later on his way out. Then, like, nothing affects him personally. Like, he's just a guy who, the second anything gets close to hitting the fan, cares only for himself and literally nobody else unless they're of immediate use to him. And if so, only barely. Okay.
How do you tell the difference between the zombies and the guys on fentanyl?
Moreover, I don't know why you're writing Blue Lives Matter, the zombie movie. During which nobody else has a fucking name, let alone a crisis like, say, why did you shoot that man? He's my husband. I'm very unhappy with you. I'm going to sue you. It's the sort of thing a normal person would say when a police officer shoots a random person in a crowd.
Yeah.
Instead, it's acceptable for police officers to shoot random people in crowds. Apparently, it's what they fucking do. They just crowd people up, corral them with light wooden barricades, and just shoot at them. And this is totally normal and acceptable behavior. Why? What the fuck? So, yeah. Following on with what John just said, this script needs to either actually engage with the situation it's constructed, or it needs to cut to the post-apocalypse when this character might have something interesting to do, or, like, actually have interactions between humans, because right now it's like watching someone else play a video game, and not a good one.
Dracos, did you ever get your audio to work?
He'd have to try unmuting himself first,
I guess. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
good on him for putting his digital face up here.
In Zombie Outbreak, though, like, there are no rules at that point, so I guess I could see the cops just shooting random people, like, fuck you, get out of my way.
You literally see the beginning of the outbreak in that scene.
But the thing is, like, once they do that, they're no longer cops. But that's okay. No. Really, they're just recognizing the situation, which is there's no more society. We just happen to have guns, and you should get away from us because you might be infected. And that's okay.
But, like, literally nobody does that.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing. It's not like, oh, you should be away, get away from us because we have guns and you're infected. It's, we have guns, we're just going to shoot people. And by that point, literally everyone's infected somehow, but not the cops. Because I guess, tactical gear is just fucking anti-infection magic. Like,
well, that's what I was wondering earlier.
What are the rules for how the infection spreads? That is a good thing. And we don't need to know that. That's one of those things where subverting expectations. Like, we can learn that later. If you're not going to do the standard bite scratch thing, what are the rules for how the infection spreads? And if you're not going to do standard scratch and bite, then let's see some people get scratched and bitten. Like, we didn't see that happen anywhere.
Did anybody turn?
Nope.
No, everybody either is being introduced as a zombie or introduced as a human. We don't ever see anybody turn.
Because none of these people are people, though.
Right.
Like Cade was for a bit, but now he's just sitting around being stoic, just taking whatever he wants from everyone, caring only for himself. Like, we don't even know how many people are with him in the convoy. None of these people matter.
Well, there's 4 named cops and the boy.
Yeah, and not all the named cops are in the same car. We could just have, instead of moving with a giant posse, you could just have 4 named cops in, say, a paddy wagon, and that's their armored car is the only thing they have, and they have to all survive. That would be interesting, because then they might be in the same room together and actually communicate, instead of just saying it's not over yet. I mean, like, we're 10 minutes into your movie, we know it's not over yet. Like, people should talk about things like, oh my God, I just shot my neighbor, or, what happened? I'm freaked. Maybe it's Young's first day on the job, and he didn't expect this. He just got out of the police academy. Oh no, what's his
So you're asking for scenes where people are processing the loss of everything.
I'm asking for scenes where people act like human beings.
Okay.
Like, I don't care if they fight over the last remaining bullet. They should act like human beings. Like, it's why I kept leaning on his gun thing. That rifle was never his gun. Right. He leaves the fucking tent without a gun, uses his handgun to kill someone, grabs a gun from someone who was using it, murders a bunch of people in a crowd, then drives away. That's not a brave SWAT leader action. That's a sociopathic serial killer action.
Well, possession is 9/10 of the law, so once it's in his hands, it's his.
Well,
I mean, that is how that works, right?
Thing is that phrase implies, that phrase implies that there is law. That phrase implies that maybe you might be brought before a court and say, I owned it, and the judge might go, you know what, 9/10 of the law is who owns it. You get it. But here there's no court. So possession is all of the law, right? There's no other law other than it's mine.
Yeah, no, I'm
Mike makes right.
Yeah. But, like, we never see our hero make a decision aside from to bravely run away.
Yeah.
How much ammo does he take? Because you only got like 20, 30 rounds max.
In a clip, and you probably... Oh, you mean from the Fallen guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced it was a Fallen guy.
Alrighty, everybody. We got Draco's.
Another Draco script.
Draco, you know what? If you want to submit something else, we'll read it. Otherwise, we got another Draco's.
See, for all we know, Draco's just written another script, and we're going to read 3 of these tonight. That's why he's on you. He's like frantically typing up another one.
Furiously typing as we. One thing I gotta say, like, look, he's gotten a lot better. So whatever he's doing, like,
I mean, like, the rewrite of the first 10 pages of the zombie one was okay.
Yeah.
But like, it did still drop off after 7. You need to start watching movies and playing fewer video games.
Yeah.
Someone else should read this script, though.
All right, page
Well,
1.
I mean, if you're going to play video games, play narrative-driven video games. Don't just play Call of Duty Zombie Edition and then write a script based on that. Because Danny's right. Nobody wants to watch somebody else play Call of Duty Zombie Edition.
All right, guys, anyway. I got to run.
All right. It was a good seeing you.
Yeah, nice seeing you guys. Later.
Page 1. A vivid celestial battlefield in the skies. Eternal beings glowing with divine light clash in an apocalyptic war. Where is Larry Holder when I need him? Anyway. Because he's got
being a lazy bum. Like, that dude really...
He's got a War of Heaven and Hell script. He's got many, in fact. I think, yeah.
I mean, Larry's got like 3 of them, doesn't he?
Yeah. Their bodies radiate energy that crackles and burns the heavens. Caption. Long before the rise of kings and kingdoms, the Celestials reigned as guardians of balance, pure, unyielding, and eternal. And I feel like we don't need another caption narration here. We can just continue and say, but even the divine are not immune to the sins of mortals. Page 2, medium, close up. Is it a medium? All right, anyway. Because, like, medium implies we're medium.
It's a medium size panel, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Oh, fair enough. A medium.
I see panel 1, full width panel at the top.
Yes. Okay, fair enough. All right. So medium panel, closing up on a. That is a little confusing. I would clean the language. Close up on a once majestic celestial, its radiant form now darkened with corruption. Its eyes glow with malice as it roars, unleashing a wave of destructive energy. One by one, they fell, consumed by the very virtues they embodied, twisted into the 7 deadly sins.
So there's 7 of them. Awesome.
Well, there's 7 deadly sins. There may be more than 7.
I think there's only 7 bad guys.
It's possible there are only 7 bad guys. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know yet. But celestial roaring, pride shall reign supreme. I mean, if there were 7 bad guys, pride would demand to be in charge. and sloth would not oppose him.
It's just
I don't know. If
Gluttony's
someone's in
at the
charge, that's a lot
And
of
gluttony
work.
also would not oppose. Like, okay.
I think sloth would totally be passive aggressive about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm liking this story.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the
one that
script
we're
that we're.
inventing now.
Yeah, yes, the one we're inventing now.
Yeah, no, I like this one too.
The corrupted celestial pride towers over a battlefield strewn with the ruins of its peers. Below, mortal armies kneel in fear, their faces lit by its blinding aura. Thus began the age of sins, pride, wrath, envy, and the rest, each carving their dominion into the mortal realms.
There's
But
only
sloth-
7. Why are you being so slothful?
Jeez.
I mean,
They
honestly, if you're gonna do this, I would like to see a panel of what each of these realms look like,
yes.
controlled by their individual sin. Like, I want to see a panel
Because
of pride.
Sloth's domain is like the one that never got started, right?
No, it's like, all the people who run those AI companies.
Yeah.
Just being like, we'll just steal everyone else's work. It's fine.
Yeah. Panel 4. A group of mortals desperate and determined lock the corrupted celestials within massive sanctuaries. These towering structures pierce the sky, radiating with protective magic.
Wait. So is this panel the mortals, or is this panel the towering structures?
Yes.
These towering structures pierce the sky. A group of mortals lock the corrupted within sanctuaries. The sanctuaries are towering structures with protective
Yeah,
magic.
so there's just
Right. My question is,
in
it's a
this
medium-sized
medium-sized
panel. So
Yes.
what are we focused on? A group of mortals or massive structures? Because
That's a good question.
I'm not sure what we're going to be seeing in this panel.
well, clearly it's a low angle shot, but it's not written down.
Yes. But
Also, that's a terrible shot for I lock you in a tower, but we're not. Anyways.
Yes. Anyways,
But humanity fought back, imprisoning the sins within ancient sanctuaries, sealing their power away for eternity, or so they believe.
I see. So nobody sins anymore. The end.
Yeah. Page 5. The final panel shifts to the present day. A vast ocean stretches out under a storm-filled sky. In the distance, a pirate ship, the Zephyr's embrace, cuts through the waves, its sails billowing as lightning illuminates the horizon. Now, centuries later, the seals weaken. The whispers of power call to the ambitious and the foolish alike. One man dares to claim the power, not for conquest, but for unity.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he's
that's a lot of information for one page.
Man, I mean, that's a great video game trailer.
Page 2, the pirate's ambition.
Why is everything in italics?
The Zephyr's embrace sails through a raging storm. Waves crash against the hull. The crew scrambles to secure the ship. Aurelion stands at the helm, gripping the wheel tightly, his cape billowing behind him as lightning illuminates his determined expression.
That sounds like a splash page.
Captain
Sounds like a splash page.
Aurelion, pirate, dreamer, and the man unyielding in his vision is shouting.
Hold steady, men. The star won't sink us. It's guiding us to destiny.
Panel 2, close up of a crew member drenched and wide-eyed, gripping a rope as another wave crashes onto the deck.
Captain, we'll be torn apart if we keep this heading.
Diane,
This storm's unnatural. We should turn back.
are you capturing Pokemon? Okay.
Early on.
It's Diane. She's always capturing Pokemon.
Aurelion's facing close up, resolute and unshaken despite the chaos around him.
The map led us here for a reason. If we turn back now, we lose everything.
Panel 4. The ship breaks through a wall of storm clouds, revealing a massive glowing tower, the sky sanctuary floating above the ocean, lighting arcs across the structure, and the clouds part to reveal a star-filled sky. Crew member 1 off panel.
By the gods.
Oh, there's more than one god in this?
I mean, sure, there are 7.
Sure,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, why not? Aurelion's gamble pays off. The sanctuary stands before them, an impossible challenge and a promise of unimaginable power.
That's a captain that could have been dialogue. Aye, Captain, your gamble paid off. The sanctuary stands before us, my crew. This impossible challenge is a promise of unimaginable power. But no, it's a captain instead of character building. Let's go.
All right, panel 5.
Build a character.
Wide panel at the bottom. Aurelion steps to the bow of his ship, his coat drenched, but his posture confident. His crew stares in awe at the sanctuary, now illuminated by moonlight. Aurelion's voice rings out over the deck.
Prepare the landing party. The rest of you hold the ship. We'll claim what lies within, or we'll perish trying.
Thus began the journey that would change the fate of the 7 realms forever.
Do these pages actually, are they supposed to have headers like in the art?
What do you mean?
We'll see page 3, preparing for the challenge.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he's naming.
I mean, okay, writers.
Yeah,
this is actually a good way to structure your comic script. Each page should have a job to do in your story, and you should know what it is. That being said, if you're giving this to your artist or letterer, that is confusing.
Panel 1. White panel at the top. The crew of the Zephyr's Embrace scrambles to prepare for the expedition. Some haul ropes, others inspect weapons, and a few cast nervous glances towards the towering sanctuary. Aurelion stands in the center of the deck, addressing his men.
Listen up. This isn't a raid or a treasure hunt. This is something greater. The sanctuary holds power beyond imagination, and we're going to claim it.
You think we'll survive this?
If the captain has his way, we'll either be legends or dead.
Panel 2, close-up of Selric, Aurelion's first mate, a rugged, seasoned sailor with a scar over one eye. He leans against the ship's railing, arms crossed, watching the preparations with a skeptical expression.
Bold speech, Captain, but are you sure you're not leading us into our graves?
Graves don't sparkle like that sanctuary, Selric. Besides, you've been with me long enough to know I don't gamble without cause.
Selric raises an eyebrow, gesturing towards the towering sanctuary in the distance.
Oh, what's the cause this time? Gold? Glory?
Unity. Arr.
Aurelion walks past Selric towards the edge of the deck. Looking out at the sanctuary, the glow of the structure reflects in his eyes, highlighting...
Are they having a thoughtful conversation in a lightning storm?
Perhaps.
While on a boat?
Well, it's very Ahab, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The 7 realms are broken, Selric. Kingdoms bicker, people suffer, and tyrants grow fat on their misery. But this power could change everything.
Or it could tear everything apart.
Panel 5. A small landing party is assembled. All around
I don't know
Selric.
if I'm supposed to stay. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to stay like sarcastic.
Stay sarcastic is great.
Okay.
A small landing party is assembled. Aurelion, Selric, and 3 other crew members, each armed and ready. They stand at the ship's edge, preparing to board a smaller boat to approach the sanctuary. The crew watches in silence, their faces a mix of fear and admiration.
Do ships have edges?
I mean, they have borders. They have. I mean, like, you know what's a ship and what's not a ship and what's water.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's show the sanctuary what the Zephyr's Embrace is made of.
Wood?
This is becoming Monty Python in the quest for the sanctuary.
Well, because we
Someone show
yeah.
it some wood.
Yeah. Well, show 'em what it's made of. It's made of wood. 5 souls against the unknown. The first steps into the legend of the sovereign. Page 4. Entering the unknown. Panel 1. The landing boat glides through the calm waters, illuminated by the glow of the sky sanctuary. The tower looms impossibly high, its intricate architecture a mix of celestial beauty and ominous design. Lightning occasionally arcs around its spires.
This place doesn't feel natural. It's like it's alive.
I don't like this. Maybe we should turn back.
We're not turning back. If it were easy, everyone would have claimed it by now. Dude, you have a boat.
The boat reaches a shimmering bridge made of translucent glowing stone that extends from the water to the sanctuary entrance. Aurelian steps out first, his boat's echoing on the ethereal surface. Caption: the bridge seems to hum beneath their feet as if testing their resolve with each step.
Sure hope this thing doesn't vanish halfway across.
Then don't fall behind, Celeric. Arr.
He's the smirking pirate. He's the smirking pirate.
I'm told that he's a pirate. I'm not seeing any piracy.
Panel 3. Close up of massive sanctuary gates adorned with celestial symbols and engraving of the 7 sins. The symbol seems to shimmer as though aware of the group's presence.
Okay, how are we going to draw that it seems to shimmer?
Those markings, they're moving.
Celeric, it's not too late to
That's me.
Okay.
It's not too late to reconsider, Captain.
If you're afraid, you can wait on the boat.
Panel 4. Aurelian places his hand on the gates, which glow brighter in response. The engraving shift and rearrange, creating a path that spirals inward. The gates begin to creak open, revealing a dark interior filled with faint and golden light.
That is not drawable panel description.
And as Danny would say, there's too many verbs in that panel.
It's because there are too many verbs in that panel.
The gates
There's a lot of verbs.
The gates opened as if recognizing his ambition, inviting him into the unknown.
Can we just pause for a second? Draco.
What?
Yeah.
Here are some phrases you should never use in a script. Seems, as if, unusually. Stop it. Just tell us what's there.
Okay, ambitious, reckless, or insane. Probably all 3.
The group steps inside the sanctuary. The interior is vast and surreal with glowing, floating platforms leading upward. Strange symbols float in the air, and distant sounds echo ominously. The group stand in awe at the sight.
What is this place?
Opportunity.
The Sky Sanctuary welcomed them, its trials and secrets waiting to test their souls.
Pausing again. Distant sounds. What are the sounds? As your letterer, your letterer is going to want to murder you for not knowing what sound effect that's supposed to be and where to put it. Don't do
Eerie
that.
sounds. Parentheses.
Eerie sounds. I can do that. I'd letter that. Like 40% opacity and maybe like a shadow effect. Just eerie sounds. So it's a comedy script, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously. Didn't we say this was Monty Python?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Wee-oo.
Page 5, the first test. Panel 1. The group cautiously steps onto the first floating platform. The glowing runes on the walls pulse rhythmically, casting eerie shadows. The platforms ahead form a spiraling path upward, but some shift and shimmer as though unstable.
Okay, how do you draw pulsing rhythmically?
How do you draw as though unstable?
I
mean, frankly, how do you film that? Like, you can film the glowing runes at least. How do you film as though? Stop it! Just stop it!
It has like
there.
It has what is it?
It's a terrible habit, and I don't know why you're still doing it. We give you a lot of shit for this, and rightly so.
Looks like it's more than just a walk in the park, Captain. The ground might not hold.
Then we step carefully, keep moving, and don't look down.
Arr.
Too late.
Too late.
Does he fall down?
Panel
Can he
2,
please fall down? Can something happen?
on the group is made fans.
We're on page 5. Nothing's fucking happened.
Cedric steps onto a platform and it wobbles unnaturally. His hand shoots out to steady himself on Aurelian's shoulder.
This thing's alive. Are you sure about this?
If it wasn't as dead, it wouldn't bother testing us first.
Panel 3, a platform ahead suddenly splits in two, revealing a glowing chasm filled with swirling energy. The group halts, eyes wide, as they stare into the void.
What in the...
Testing us, huh? Feels more like it's trying to swallow us whole.
Panel 4, Aurelian steps confidently onto a glowing platform ahead. The symbols beneath his feet light up, forming a glowing path forward. He motions for the others to follow.
The sanctuary wants us to prove ourselves. Follow my lead and trust your instincts.
Trust your instincts, he says. Easy when you're not the one about to fall.
What page are we on?
We're on page 9.
We are 9 pages into this.
No, we're page
script.
5.
No, this is. Oh yeah, you're right. We're
Okay. We have read 9 script
5.
pages of this, and there's been like no world building.
Yeah.
Well, there was on page 1. We had our info
It
dump.
was backstory. Like it was fucking
Okay.
info dump. It doesn't count.
I'm gonna read that again.
Okay.
Trust your instincts, he says. Easy when it's not about when you're not the one about to fall to your doom.
Panel 5, as the group progresses, shadowy figures begin forming in the swirling energy below. The shapes are vaguely humanoid, but are twisted with glowing eyes that fix on the group. One figure starts to rise towards the platform.
As the
Captain,
group progresses,
There's...
shadowy figures emerge from swirling enemy energy below. They have glowing eyes.
Captain, there's something down there.
Cedric draws his sword. Guess the test isn't just about jumping platforms.
Good. I was hoping for a warm up. Okay.
Is he about to jump on somebody's face and...
Can he just do jumping jacks? Are they gonna like have like an exercise off? Can anything be interesting? Give us something, man.
Page 6, shadows emerge. Panel 1, wide panel at the top. The shadowy figures rise from the swirling energy below, climbing onto the platforms. Their forms are humanoid but distorted, their limbs unnaturally long, and their glowing eyes fixed on the group. The sanctuary tested more than strength. It probed their resolve and fears.
What are those things?
Whatever they are, they don't look friendly.
Question: how many swords does Cedric has? Because he's
He
for a
just
couple
threw
times
like
now.
3.
In a row. It's really weird.
Man steps forward, unsheathing his sword.
Again?
The faint glow of the sanctuary reflected on his blade. Behind him, the rest of the group readies their weapons.
Again?
I'm assuming Cedric has like 3 arms. So-
I don't know. That would be interesting. It would certainly make jumping platforms a lot easier.
They're part of the trial. If we hesitate, we fail. Stay close and strike fast.
Oh, that was okay.
You make it sound so easy, Captain.
One of the shadows creatures lunges at crew member 1, its claws slicing through the air. The crew member barely raises his sword in time to block, his face filled with panic.
They're fast. Too fast.
Can you just kill him though? All right. Okay, fine. I'm in shop now. Let's go.
Aurelian leaps into action, slicing through the shadow, attacking crew member 1. The creature dissolves into black mist, and Aurelian lands smoothly, his expression calm but intense.
Then keep up. We're not here to fail.
Is this like 11 as in...
I mean, we've just read 11 pages.
Yeah.
Of
All
script.
right.
I don't get the snarl.
Anyway.
I
You
wanna
can snarl. Go for it.
It's-
That was pretty good.
it's
That was the best Miss Piggy snarl I've
go.
ever heard.
Thank you.
Oh, Yes, this would make a good Muppet movie, wouldn't
It
it?
would make a good.
Yeah,
Muppet
that would
movie.
make a good
Muppet movie.
It's like Tim Curry has 4 arms, man.
Yeah.
Just throwing those swords out.
He keeps drawing swords.
When you're a professional pirate.
All right. So, well, I mean, it's an interesting world. We've got, and I gotta say, it's a genre that I see a lot of on the stream of, the War of Heaven and Hell. So I gotta say it's kind of a hot genre that's it's an up and coming genre. I see a lot of people like gravitating towards.
It's the tale as old as time.
Yeah.
So
kind of Good Omens, or The Last Day, or Heaven and Hell are at a war. They've been at a war for a long time.
Prophecy.
Yeah.
That's my movie right there. I love Prophecy.
And it gives us an inherent conflict. In this case, all of the 7 deadly sins have been imprisoned, and now pirates, for some reason,
I'm happy about this.
Yeah, for some reason, they're out to, I guess, free the vices of the world.
So I also want to ask, like, what a lot of people do with like the 7 deadly sins. I often wondered, what about the 7 holy virtues? People
that requires actually like paying attention.
Yeah. And actually like knowing.
Protestants don't have a catechism.
Yeah. So I mean, people don't seem to talk about them because they're boring.
Yeah.
The 7 holy virtues are really interesting.
They're actually very interesting, but generally people find them boring. So
but those are the same people who think Superman is boring.
Well, that's true. But
and
the
those
thing
people
is
can
this,
fuck off. So you understand how Superman?
No. So the thing is this: by itself, the 7 holy virtues are pretty boring unless you bring in the 7 deadly sins. Then you have conflict. Yeah. Okay, so by themselves they're pretty like, but then you bring in
they're reasonably opposition,
like because they counteract each other, and then you go like, this.
But like, it's a good framework for my character has to make a decision. Which of these 2 ways will he go? That would be interesting storytelling. But right now we're going to say nice things about this book.
Yes. I mean, I thought it was decent world building. We got pirates, and we got a war between heaven and hell that involved imprisoning of the 7 deadly sins into big structures.
I'm a little confused over like, are they?
We'll get
to no. I have a question. Are they sailing on water, or are they sailing in clouds?
That's not actually mentioned specifically.
Yeah,
I was assuming water.
I actually was thinking clouds because it's heaven and hell, so I was just thinking like clouds.
I mean,
I'm going with water.
Yeah.
All right.
This has an inherent conflict. It has an interesting concept. The post-apocalypse, in which the apocalypse is the imprisonment of the 7 deadly sins, that has some promise. It's worth exploring. And it has a boat and some swords.
Yes.
So
lots of swords.
And you can get a lot of story out of a boat and some swords.
I mean, you could get a lot of story out of a boat and some swords.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have comments about how we didn't when we deal with the construction.
All right, John.
Well, I thought it was rather visually interesting. I think the way you designed these towers and how they're walking up them and your floating platforms, I think with a halfway decent artist and a really good colorist, I think you've got some really interesting visual stuff that you could pull out of this that I think would be very pretty to look at.
All right, constructives. Well, I feel like more could have been accomplished. There's a lot of.
Why are they in prison?
There's a lot. Like I don't know why they're going to these sanctuaries and what they hope to get there. I'm not.
Unity.
The
script said it. Unity.
Yeah,
it said it several times.
Now, the fact that nobody else is behind this.
Wait, they're not unified in searching for unity?
Well, right. The fact that no one brings it up, that is itself the problem. may itself be the problem.
Yeah.
I found that the captain is on his own mission and his crew is not behind him
Right.
whatsoever. The crew is just kind of like Unity.
Yeah, no,
Like, oh, here he goes again.
This asshole talking about unity. Always about unity.
Here's my Unity. How about like we're on a verge of a fucking mutiny, man?
Yeah.
Take Unity this. And
Yeah.
it's like that.
I would love to read that story. That would be really interesting. Okay, guys, we're going on this dangerous mission for Unity. Yeah, no, this is stupid. You're fired. Is how that conversation should go.
Or the
captain now.
Yeah.
as they're climbing the stairs, if he says Unity one more time, I'm gonna take his Unity and shove it up his ass.
Yeah. So I think if we did that, then we'd have a conflict between the crew, and that would be interesting because I don't see a lot of conflict outside of the crew.
And the crew, it's definitely like the first mate is definitely like getting ready to kick his ass. like I love. I have to say that I love the character that I played, Cellric.
Okay.
So I thought that he was actually really fun.
I loved your acting for Cellric. It was great.
Thank you. And I was just kind of like, I'm kind of on Sterling's side. What the hell's up with this captain? What is he doing?
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna do this for the betterment of Unity. I'm like, what the fuck is Unity? And the
And
guy's
that
like,
part I gotta say doesn't quite make sense because like are they liberating the 7 deadly sins? Why are they virtuing into these cathedrals where they were imprisoned?
exactly.
Also,
but
this place has
what is it
gods. Don't they
accomplishing
have a
for actually
religion?
doing that?
And someone tells these stories about the evil sins that are trapped in the towers, and that's why we don't go in there because they will destroy mankind.
Right.
So, but the thing is that he wants unity, not destruction.
Right.
So,
So again, why is he here? You know?
I mean,
Anyway.
hopefully this is a Tower of Sloth and he just like sits on his ass and eats Cheetos all day.
Exactly. Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. like the great thing would be if they said Sloth 3 and he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm never gonna play it.
Like, I don't know. This seems like a lot of
And
work.
then he brings out envy, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man,
I should have gone to the
I should've
gold.
stayed. This is
Yeah.
just stupid.
Yeah.
What's going on? Maybe some other guy should do it. Oh, they're
Right.
so much better than me.
Yeah. All right, John, what do you think?
I'm wondering why these guys are pirates. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're not acting like pirates.
They're not.
I mean,
They're
I
Unless
get
they're
it.
not pirates. They're
Pirates are cool. Okay, but why? It's like, what's their moral alignment? Like, I don't understand that, and that's, I feel like.
Well, it goes back to why are they trying to unify the human race by going into these sanctuaries? We're
The answer, John, there's a moral alignment is unity.
yeah.
Okay.
But
But the thing is that I have to say that to John's point, I have to say, yes, they don't act like pirates because what are they trying to steal other than 7 deadly sins? And what does that gain them?
Yeah.
So they seem more like freedom fighters or revolutionaries. Privateers?
Or maybe people so like wrapped up in the human condition that they feel that they need the freedom to experience the deadly sins in order to be human at all, or something like some kind of greater. I mean,
what if they're like religious zealots?
What
and
if they're
like
a cult?
worship
Can they just be a
7
cult?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It could be a
yeah.
cult.
yeah. They
That would be interesting.
They could be
Then
cult.
they'd be the bad guys because they're clearly the bad guys.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're going to be setting free the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, they're obviously the bad guys. Those shadows are the good guys. I
Yeah.
don't-
So yeah, what if they're like some kind of fanatical cult that's
Yeah.
setting out there, and that's why, then they're all in agreement to do this because they've all drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I would watch the fuck out of that.
I would actually too.
And I want to say Palace is kind of like that. Like Palace, we're kind of following the bad guys. Like none of these are good people, honestly.
Yeah, but at least they have differing viewpoints about shit.
Yeah, they argue a lot, but they're not good people.
And they have conflict with each other, even though they're
Yeah.
not. None of them are good necessarily, but they all have different motivations and goals, and that brings them in conflict with each other.
right.
Yeah.
Oh.
My
I
comment
vote
is
for
basically
Cellric as
all
captain.
of this, and yeah, nothing happens. So this is a thing that sort of happens a lot in your writing. I would suggest reconsidering the dialectical aspect of your work. In Hegel, a dialectic is when two opposing, mutually exclusive ideas must actually stand and challenge each other, a thesis and antithesis. And you regularly only show us a thesis. And what this gives us is uninteresting world building, flat characters, all of this other stuff that we keep on talking about. So one way to solve this is to show people have opposing viewpoints and discuss it, or to make different decisions, or indeed to compromise. Like if this was a big negotiation of, okay, Captain, you said there was a big treasure here. You took us to this floating tower in the sky. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go steal the 7 deadly sins. That's a fucking story.
And then what do you do with them? Do you hold them ransom?
Right.
Who knows, right? Hold the world ransom until everyone stops fighting is clearly the guy's goal, or whatever. But like, yeah, like there's no sense of ambition in our protagonist. Just this weird calm. Like, yes, people are calm, but you always write calm protagonists. Why? Like, people should be affected by the world around them. And so by obscuring the competition of ideas, you're actually doing yourself a disservice and also often boring your audience. Like, can't we just cut to when they've already done this and we see the interesting part is a real question I want to ask you here. Right? Like, okay, there was this cool thing. We locked up all the sins. Cool. Thousands of years later, some fucking asshole let them all free for some stupid reason. 500 years after that, they're in control again. Now let's start a war. That's the comic someone wants to read.
In a way, you can also have the captain not tell his crew that they've been kidnapping these people and they've been holding them prisoner this whole time.
Or whatever the fuck.
And then just go like, well, we're going to do this. And I'm like, well, I'm not telling you my fucking mission. You got to understand me. And they're on the verge of mutiny. It's like, where's the fucking treasure? When are we going to get paid? Who the fuck are these people? Why are we going to, are we ransoming them? Where are the ransoms? Where are these letters that we're supposed to send off to?
Yeah, like there's something. Where are the guards for the tower?
Yeah.
Like, where's the religious story of like, oh, you'll be turned into a pillar of salt if you do, like, give us anything. There's no sense of danger at all.
Yeah, aren't pirates usually superstitious too? Like, isn't that like one of their traits?
I mean, sailors in general are historically are notoriously superstitious.
So where is that? Where is there? Oh, if you step foot on this thing, you're going to turn, like you said, into a pillar of dust or salt or whatever. Or yeah, like none of that's here either.
Like like. Instead, it's just people doing stuff mechanically. Like, it's got the video game problem again. You give us like the intro cutscene to a video game with like the cool war thing, then put us in some story of like, let's go through these floating things. Like, it's a platformy video game. Oh, here's your first combat scene.
It did feel kind of very platformy.
Yeah. No one wants to read that shit.
And I'm gonna say this also that generally pirate movies or pirate things often fail in box office. There are a few exceptions, like Pirates of the Caribbean, but Pirates of the Caribbean one. Okay, let me continue.
They kept making them.
No, but the thing is this: the reason why Pirates of the Caribbean 1 kind of works so well is that it's actually the reverse of a pirate movie. Mm-hmm. They're stealing money to put it back where it came from. Mm-hmm. And that is like, they're stealing it so they can just lift this curse that's on them.
Right.
So we're going to put it back where we're going to bury it. We're going to rebury this treasure rather than like, we're going to steal and do what.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the odd irony of the film that made it very interesting.
The other reason pirate movies fail is because they're really expensive to make.
They're also very expensive though. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think that's a bigger problem because pirate books do pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pirate books do well. Pirate comics do actually very, very well.
And but like, this isn't piracy. This is just sailing.
Yeah, it's just sailing. So
they're not pirates. They're just sailors.
It just reminds me of like Master and Commander, where they're just sailing off. And I actually fell asleep in that film 5 times. I still don't know the plot of that film.
When Master and Commander hits, it really hits though.
I think it was pretty good on.
We're just saying.
Yeah, but like, was it after like 8 p.m.? Because you pumpkin real early.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, dude, stop writing video games as though they're comics, or movies. It doesn't. You got to give us characters who want things.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was kind of a thought that I had, was like, what are the character motivations? Like, when I approach a script, I look at and I go by named characters. My side characters, if they don't have a name, they're NPCs. They're just extras. But I try to keep a focus. Like, what does every named character has to have a goal? Like, what do they want? And sometimes that goal could simply be to support another named character. It doesn't have to be a grandiose goal. But every named character should have a motivation and a reason for that motivation, whatever that is. And I think if you look at every scene you write, every character in that scene that has a name should have a goal. They should have a reason for being in that scene, and everything they do in that scene should have a reason, and it should be consistent and in line with their character and what their overarching goal for life is, or whatever.
Let's use an example here. The what's his name? Ramirez and Cade and the boy are in a police car driving on a highway. What does Cade want to do? Let's say just run away and not be attacked. Okay, what does Ramirez want to do? He's running away. Does he also want to not be attacked? Does he want to go visit his wife, or, see his daughter or girlfriend or parents or whatever? What does the boy want? Because his parents are dead. Like, they're all just sitting there not talking. Like, there should be an excuse for conflict with two people and a prop in a car. I'm assuming the boy is a prop. You still got two people in a car. Why are they driving in that direction? Where, like, there should be conflict, or there could be conflict. And, like, if you put two people in a room, they don't all want the same thing 100%. And if they do, they don't want it for the same reasons, like in Pirates of the Caribbean. Just to bring it back to what Diana was saying.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the gold, even Captain Jack Sparrow. That's not why Captain Jack wants the gold. He wants the gold to be invincible and take revenge.
Yeah. Well, actually, what he wants is to kill Captain Barbossa. He was the one who kept him on the island and left him there to die. And his entire motivation is really like, I need the pearl so I can find Barbossa, so I can have this one shot and kill him. The thing is that he can't die.
Right.
Until the last coin is actually in the box. So, and then he's like,
You're like a really big fan of Pirates 1.
Well, the thing is that
Pirates 1 is really
good. Pirates 1 is solid, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is that all the rest of it just kind of meanders off, and there are like little bits that I like, but other than that,
it meanders off and becomes a Lone Ranger.
And like, why does Orlando Bloom come along? Wow.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom came along because Elizabeth Swann was kidnapped. So that was the reason why she was.
And then he stays along because, like, oh, I guess maybe I was always a pirate. Rawr.
Yeah. Like, and the reason why Elizabeth came in is because she had the last coin.
Right.
She was the last coin. They've been searching for that thing for 10 years for this one coin that's been lost.
Yeah.
And then you have Barbossa. Is like, why does he want all the things? He just wants to eat a fucking apple.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love. It's like, this guy hasn't eaten or had anything. Like, he has all this gold and he can't do shit.
Yeah.
Like, he can't do shit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. It's so good.
They're all on the same mission together, or they all kind of want the same thing, yet for different purposes. They're at odds, and the same things can't all happen. Someone will lose out. And that is how you create conflict.
Yeah. So, and really, like, Jack wants one to murder Barbossa and take back his ship.
Yeah.
And then you find out in the second movie the reason why he needs the ship back is because he's got to get away from
blah 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 blah.
Blah blah blah. So yeah, that by the second movie. So
Well,
The
the second
point-
movie that was then cut into 2 movies, which is what killed it. But anyway, we
yeah,
don't need
it's
to-
Yeah.
kind of what killed
like,
That's-
but like the point is like you have all these people regularly who are just they're nameless party members, and you don't even kill them. Like, what's the point of having like nameless party members? What if the guy goes, and then like only the first officer comes along, being like, "You're a fucking asshole," but I'm gonna make sure that you don't take the power of the 7 deadly sins for yourself, and you actually use it for its intended purpose, or whatever. The other characters don't do anything. You don't need them. The sailors have.
the thing is
no-
also
red
that,
shirts.
what do you want the 7 deadly sins for? Are you bringing back the powers of hell? Are you
Is each one a gemstone that goes in
it's
your
a-
gauntlet?
Yeah, I mean, like, what are
Yeah.
they? So it's like, are they
The
persistent?
Celestials.
Maybe despite what the art shows, they're actually like real angels, and many of them can dance on the head of a
Well,
pin.
they're celestial.
Maybe, yeah.
They're
Sure.
celestials.
And he just
whatever
wants
that
to put them all on the head of the same pin because he thinks it would go well in his pin collection.
And he wants to satisfy a long-running debate.
Yeah, like, maybe it's been thousands of years and no one knows what towers are for.
Exactly.
And he's the only person brave enough to do it. And he's actually a Christopher Columbus figure. Like,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
Give us something. But stories are not video games. Like, the reason many people in like the art criticism side of things say video games tend not to be art is unless you have like
a narrative
massive amounts of like ludo narrative
and lore, lots and lots
No,
of
I mean, fuck lore. If you don't have ludo narrative consonants,
Yeah.
your game isn't really telling much of a story,
Hmm.
right? Like, and this isn't Ico, this isn't Shadow of the Colossus, where like your gameplay is the thing that you're doing. So then you're just watching this weird third-person narrative that can't advance unless the player hits the buttons at the right point, which frankly doesn't make for a good movie and doesn't make for a good comic and it doesn't make for a good novel. If you've seen a movie, it should be for fairly self-evident reasons. And so it's one of these reasons why video game adaptations often fail.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, 'cause they
you're
don't-
stuck with a story that you're just kind of watching other people do shit. And like, how are you supposed to put like an audience member in that with someone they actually care about? It's really hard.
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard enough to do it with a novel where you're mostly just cutting stuff, right? Like doing it where you don't even like really have the story, and like the story is just a thing that's like external to the actual action is really difficult. So yeah, like it's great that you're being really productive, and frankly, I love reading your shit, and like your writing's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But like,
did love the
dude, like you got to have characters in your stories.
Yeah. They're important. All right. Those were all the scripts today, which were all presented by Draco. Good
It
job,
kind
Draco.
of showed up. Yay!
Yeah.
And it's really funny that this script comes up after we watch 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is another fantastic film with a very solid script.
That was a good script. That was a great director.
That was a great director, David Fincher.
Yeah.
David Fincher.
I mean,
Army's
Yeah.
favorite director,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Technically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Hooray, David Fincher. Very demanding taskmaster, but he makes masterful films. And I am in awe of his craft.
As I am.
Yeah.
As I am I.
Anyway, all right. Next week, maybe I'll have some pages. Who knows?
Joseph said he's gonna have a rewrite of the
Okay.
PSA story.
Cool.
Cool.
And he's actually really excited to bring it back because he had a really good time last week, he said.
Well, good.
Aw.
Awesome.
And
He can show up even when he doesn't have pages.
Yeah, I know.
I told him he's busy. He's in Seattle.
Okay.
So we're starting at like right at 5:00 for him, and he has
Yeah.
a day job.
Okay, fair enough.
So like he
Yeah.
was, I think, in the office in like some spare room, like rendering out some something, like while we were on the stream last week.
Yeah. I mean, we moved to this time to try and accommodate Larry, who's over in Newfoundland but
And he doesn't even show up.
He doesn't even show
He's
up.
definitely in New Brunswick and not in Newfoundland.
Okay, New Brunswick, whatever. It's over there on the eastern part of things.
Yes.
In Canada, who even matters? This is Canada, Eastern Canada. All right.
It's going to end up being the 51st state, right?
The French speaking. We don't want the French speaking part.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you listen to my province's premier and his hat-based diplomacy.
Yeah.
Because apparently we do live in the. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
It's like a big thing now. It's like these blue Canada not for sale hats are like blowing the fuck up. they're like the MAGA hats. So we genuinely live in this age of hat-based diplomacy. And apparently the Mexicans are wearing them too. It's fucking weird.
I just think it was so funny that like Greenland's like, no, we don't, or maybe we do. Maybe we want to be part of the U.S. Like,
no, Greenland absolutely doesn't.
Yeah,
Greenland doesn't.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it would be cool for us if Greenland was, because they got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of rare earth minerals in Greenland.
That's true.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff.
That's true, but the thing is that it's also like
it's also underneath a glacier. Most of it.
It's
yeah.
They don't have the. They don't. I mean,
don't worry, Danny. Global warming will take care of the glacier.
Exactly. We're working on a 100-year plan.
Global warming is for the plan.
Yeah.
Way to go, capitalism.
Anyway. All right. Well, those are all the Draco script for this week. Next week, hopefully, we'll have more from perhaps writers that aren't Draco. Maybe.
I should have something by next week.
Okay. Fantastic.
I just need to carve out a couple hours.
All right, everybody. Well, see everyone next week. Same
all right,
time.
Good night, everybody.
Until we change it. All right. Take care.
There we go.
Bye.
Night, everybody.